Okay. Testing. I think that's, well, I know it's recording because the red light's on. Now, I posted earlier today that I would be making a video because I've got so much to say that, I mean, I write hundreds, thousands of posts over the years. I keep getting blocked on Facebook, and most of the people that read my posts think they're so ridiculous and far-fetched. They don't even take any notice. Now, there are a handful of people who've been following me that are fully aware of how serious this is. We're talking about the first Royal Commission of its kind in over 300 years. The reason I'm making this video is because you need to understand what myself and a few other people have been involved in. Some of the people, one of the people that's involved in this, has 40 years hard forensic evidence on the police, councillors and all the corruption. Another chap has got 25 years hard forensic evidence. They stole his farm in Kent. Why? Because Kent is the Garden of Eden. I've got friends that live in Tenterden and Benenden. Funnily enough, one of them has her own farm, and she has horses and all sorts of things. Now, because the water is good in Kent, they stole his farm. They grew marijuana on his farm, and top judges were in with it with the Kent police. They were also importing hard drugs from Amsterdam. Strangely enough, this, if you look at this here in the Daily Express, BBC embroiled in further scandal as executive filmed Dutch child abuse movies. Detectives are investigating claims that a retired BBC executive abused young boys at his home in Amsterdam. So all this drug and fraud, the drug dealing, paedophilia, is all tied up with the BBC. They're complicit in crimes against humanity. Now, most of you will be aware that myself and Gordon Bowden and about 300 people from Facebook, and I'm sure there's a few of you that remember, we went to the BBC. They put barriers up to stop us. The police were there, police vans, because we'd already been at Trafalgar Square, where Gordon Bowden gave an address. That's all on YouTube. Gordon Bowden's been on the Richie Allen show, all sorts of different shows. After he gave the address, we marched up to the BBC. But of course, by the time we got there, the police were there in force. They put the barriers up. I did go round to as many police as I could, to the police vans. I explained why we were there, who Gordon Bowden was, and what was in his file documents. And there was a call into the BBC. The chief of security came down with an executive. Gordon went inside for about an hour and handed over forensic documents. I was in tears because I thought we'd won. That was the 1st of November 2015. So we went back on the 1st of November 2016, without the crowds. Myself, Gordon Bowden, and Mr. Brian Setchfield, who's an ex-Crime Stoppers board member, very well respected, worked under Lord Ashcroft for 12 years. And I had this tiny little camera that I'm recording now, only it's stationary, so it's going to be a lot more clearer. And I have video evidence of Kelly Curtis telling us that he would help us guys to the ends of the earth. Where is Kelly Curtis now? Now, by a sheer stroke of luck, I was following George Galloway at the time. And if you see George Galloway's blistering attack on the US Senate, he ran rings around them because he was accused of things he'd never done. So I used to watch, he has a programme on Press TV called Comment. And I used to watch it on my laptop. I don't have a TV. I've never had a television. I won't have one in the house. And I was watching it one day, but it was alive. It was live. Pure coincidence. So on the off chance, I phoned in, like I'm sure we all do, but we never get through. So I phoned in, I got through. So I can't offhand remember what they were discussing. It was something to do with Saudi Arabia, which, as you should know now, those Saudi princes are all Jews. Research it. That's why they're in league with Israel. They're all mass murderers. So I phoned in and I spoke to George Galloway, and that's out there. And the following Thursday, they phoned me. Now, this was a phone-in. They're not supposed to phone the public. So they obviously had kept my phone number. And I phoned in again. That's all out there on YouTube. You've all seen it. Some of you have shared it. Some of you don't even give a shit. You'd rather go and watch football. But that's okay. And then, the following Thursday, I have another phone call from Press TV. They wanted my views on lobbyists. And I thought, well, I don't want to talk about lobbyists. I want to talk about Finchley Road. So I had to, and it's up there, Google John Paterson Press TV. That's all you have to do. Everything is out there. So I thought, how can I twist lobbying around to the biggest fraud, theft and money laundering scam in the history of the world? But I did it. They'd edited it from 12 minutes to just 3 minutes. But in that 3 minutes, it all came out. Paedophilia, blackmail, money laundering, Finchley Road. And it's all there, folks. Just see it for yourself. So I'm fed up. It takes a lot of time and energy posting and tagging people. Some of these people tell me not to tag them anymore. Well, who are these people? Why wouldn't you want to know that your children and your grandchildren are going to be born into a life of misery and debt because of a handful of bastards? So don't tell me not to tag you. Just don't be a friend of mine. Go back and play on the bloody chemtrail pages or the fluoride pages or the vaccine pages. We all know about that. But what you have to understand is these people are behind all these things. Once we take these people down, everything fucking stops. The chemtrails, the vaccines, everything. Sorry, I tend to swear a lot when I'm pissed off. Let's get back to what I wanted to talk about in the first place, in case none of you believe me. The 8th of May is going to be the biggest day in the history of the world, and you still won't believe it till it happens. This is a criminal witness statement. This isn't mine, I have my other one. This is the guy that spent dozens of years in prison because they stole his farm and fitted him up. Why? Just because the police and the judges wanted his farm to grow marijuana. I act as Her Majesty's informant whistleblower in the matters of corruption in Her Majesty's system of jurisprudence and law enforcement. I am the victim of corruption in Her Majesty's system of jurisprudence and law enforcement, as identified by Scotland Yard Corruption Investigation Operation Tiberius, by Her Majesty's Courts and Judiciary, and the Sussex Police Force. Therefore, make this formal criminal complaint and witness statement for myself, family, Her Majesty the Queen, and Her Majesty's government. I hope you're taking all this in, because most of you out there haven't got an attention span of over 3 minutes. You've proved it time and time again. I hereby certify that the following evidence, as listed, is true, and that the evidence has been collated over the past 25 years, and that the Sussex Police and Crime Commissioner is and has been aware of all the facts, as per the aiding, abetting and assisting an offence, Johnson v. Bowden, 1950, 1 kilobyte 544 DC, Lord Goddard's CJ, in brackets. Therefore, by her refusal to act by a fluxion of time, 5 years, to report serious crime and corruption, the Sussex Police and Crime Commissioner has had the criminal intention to knowingly aid, abet, assist Sussex Police Force and Sussex Police Professional Standards Department to conceal corruption within the Sussex Police Force by the fraudulent use of the Police Reform Act 2002. There's a list here of all the offences, but let's get to the bottom. The above is merely a sample evidence that I hold of fraudulent conduct by Sussex Police and Crime Commissioner to pervert the course of public justice in the concealment of complicity in crime by Sussex Police inter alia fraud, robbery, assault, battery, firearms offences, perjury, false imprisonment, intimidation, cannabis cultivation and supply, and receiving the proceeds of crime by bribery of police officers, as admitted at page 8 by Criminal Leachman, police interview dated the 13th of October 2005. Now, the reason I've decided to make this amateur video is so that you can replay it afterwards, because you need to understand what's been going on. I've sweated blood trying to get this through to the public. I've been to number 10 Downing Street, BBC, Fenchurch Street Police Station, Paddington Green Police Station, Charing Cross Police Station, Seaford Police Station, Lewes Police Station. I have it all on record. everything. We have a total of 65 years, minimum, hard, forensic evidence. Thank God we managed to get this Royal Commission, which started in 2012, by honest MPs, and there's not many, trust me. But the fewer honest ones there are cannot do what I'm doing, because they have a career, they have families, they have children. They don't want to end up like David Kelly or all these other people that have been murdered by the state. And we all know about Dr. David Kelly. They've sealed the records for 70 years. Bastards. So all these people will be dead when the truth comes out. But let's not forget, these people have descendants. They have children. Okay? Some of this I can't read out because I promised to hold on to it till the 8th of May. I'm just trying to work out while I'm thinking about what I can read and what I can't. I'll just say I've sent these important documents to various friends of mine on Facebook who I trust. Now, by now, they would have read out the statements and they will be totally shocked. But I trust these people because one of them sent me, when I was locked up in Lewes prison for trying to expose this, one of them sent me some money because although I have money, I didn't have access to it in prison because I didn't know the system. I didn't know what you had to do to get money in. He knew the system and he sent me enough money to once a week purchase treats like anything, fruit, tobacco, because fucking food was disgusting. I lost 14 pounds in 21 days. I'm a fit person. In fact, when I was 43 years old, I won an Ironman contest. That's me there. I don't know if you can see it. I was 43 years old there. I competed with 1,000 other guys. Most were half my age. And I thrashed a lot of them. I'm 67 now, but I can do 100 press-ups now. It's easy. So being in prison and having no access to decent food, it fucked me up. It took me several weeks to get my health back. And I was a wreck when I came out. For trying to expose fraud. That's the reward I got. I spent the first 2 nights in the paedophile wing. Well, they called it the paedophile wing because that's where I was. I was supposed to have 1 night's induction, and they left me there for 2 nights. And the guy I shared the cell with, we used to go and have lunch when all the paedophiles were locked up, because he had already attacked one. He didn't attack one. One of them made a comment about his mother, who I've been in touch with. She lives in Brighton. So he took a swing at one of these paedophiles for making a comment about his mother. So they used to let him out when the paedophiles were locked up. So him and myself used to go for lunch together and go to the exercise yard together. I'm just, before I get onto these pages, I wanted to make this a short video because I know, you stick a video up that's more than 15 minutes, people won't even watch it because they've got other things planned. They either want to go down the pub, they either want to watch football, or they want to do some other, whatever they do, whatever people do with their precious spare time. I want to read out a few texts here that I was sent. Very important text. I've kept them. They're not necessarily in order, but it's going to give you a flavour of what's been going on. I'm going to Barcelona next week on holiday. Be back 8th, 9th of May. Invite police officer, and we're talking about the tow rag that tried to bang my door down, 3 weeks ago on a Sunday, 10 p.m. I'm going to Barcelona next week on holiday. Be back 8th, 9th of May. Invite the police officer, who was DC Grimwood, to meet me, and I will open his eyes to documented and admitted facts. Now, I've been posting stuff on the internet which I've had to take down. Well, when I say I had 500 videos on the internet which were taken down by Google. Unfortunately for Google, other people had mirrored them and reposted them, so it's out of my control. So I've deleted what I can, but I can't be blamed for what's left up. But they'd have to close down the internet. I mean, I've got stuff as far as Japan and Russia. I find stuff every day that I didn't. People have been mirroring my videos and monetize them so they can make money on them. I don't monetize any of my stuff because I don't want ads flashed up on them. I mean, I'm broke and I could make money out of what I do. I'm not interested in money. So let's carry on. You have helped me and everyone. Nothing to be sorry about. By bringing Sussex Police in, it is all good for us, as we can use that to our advantage. Those things on your website were not advantageous to us any longer. They have done their work and brought Katie Bourne out to where I can deal with her. And this is a man that's got 25 years hard forensic evidence. Now, when I was in the Royal Courts of Justice last week, Court 57, I walked in. I sat at the back. Edward was there. It was Matt Taylor's hearing. I mean, it's not funny. Poor Matt was in tears. He fined Matt £26,000 for exposing the truth. And Matt quite rightly said, this has cost me my family. They've taken my kids off me. I'm broke. And next week, I'm on the streets. Do you know what the judge did? He reduced it to £20,000. I didn't realise at the time, but Katie Bourne was sitting to my left with her team. As soon as she spotted me, I heard her talking. There was a whisper. 2 security guys turned up and flanked her. What's Katie Bourne afraid of? She sat there biting her nails. Right? Body language was a giveaway. They accused Matt Taylor of stalking Katie Bourne and sending someone to the cliffs, the Seven Sisters cliffs in East Sussex. Katie Bourne done an abseil for a charity. They all do this to make themselves look good. They don't give a shit about charities. All they care about is their own greed. And this was on September the 11th. I was there and I was approached by one of Katie's friends and said, we don't want any trouble, we don't want this event sabotaged. I mean, and then they went on to say that I was filming the ropes and there was fear that I was going to sabotage the event. You could not make this stuff up. Now, Matt Taylor did not send me to film Katie Bowden abseiling down the cliffs. I did that. I do nobody tells me what to do. Nobody gives me orders. Whether I go to number 10 Downing Street, the BBC, or going to watch Katie Bowden abseil, I did that by myself. Nobody tells me or instructs me what to do. They tried to make out that Matt Taylor was sending me down there to stalk Katie Bowden. That was a public event. Matt Taylor gets fined £26,000 for that. Poor guy was beside himself. So there's so much to say, and I don't want to confuse anybody. I just want to finish this off and read a couple of more texts. This is to me. You should understand that by what you have done has brought Surrey Police into the equation, which I can use as if by the evidence I have submitted they decline to prosecute Katie. I can prosecute Surrey Police for aid, abetting, assisting Katie with fraud. Matt Taylor has an appeal because Katie never disclosed to the court that I, him, had made application for her suspension from office. That could have changed the judgment handed down. So because they disallowed this important evidence, the judge committed fraud and fined Matt Taylor £20,000. A man that's had his life destroyed, has lost his job, has no access to his children, is fined £20,000. Right. I'm not going to go on forever. I just want to read out one more text. Because I'm so pissed off. I'm so pissed off. You cannot imagine. I understand from Edward that you are taking certain things off the website. That is good. You have done a good job, as you have brought Katie Bowden out of hiding and got Surrey Police involved in investigation. And they will find, when they read my statement of evidence of complicity in crime, it will keep both you and Matthew out of malicious prosecution and prison. So if they want, they're coming here on the 8th of May to this address. They're telling me they've got a warrant for me for harassment. I've never harassed anybody in my life. If they decide to arrest me, all these documents get flooded all over the internet. I've got good friends that know what to do. So if you want to come and arrest me, Sussex police, you know where I live. You don't have to bang on my door on Sunday evening at 10 p.m, scare the shit out of my neighbours and the friend who was here, who was literally shaking like a leaf. Probably one of the first times I've ever seen someone so fucking scared that they were shaking like this, literally shaking all over. I had to get friends around here to surround the premises to make sure they'd left, because when all the police cars left in the police van, they were still outside. They tried to look through the letterbox, but I have a special thing behind my letterbox so you can't see in. And I sat there and I could smell this DC Grimwood outside. I could smell him. And then he started banging the door again. Bang, 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 bang. So I got friends around who know what they're doing. This whole place was surrounded by fucking police. Can you believe it? All they had to do was send me a letter inviting me to come in and speak to them. So we got my friend out the following day, and I stayed in this flat for 3 days. And then when it was safe, I left, and I spent several days in a safe house in London. You know the rest. I'm going to close this down now, and I'll tell you why. Because I've got other stuff here that's so mind-blowing. I've promised not to release it till the 8th of May. So, if they do arrest me, all this evidence is going to be posted on YouTube. It's going to all the internet radio shows that we trust, because there's a lot of double agents out there. And this is going to go worldwide, and it will make legal history. And if you don't believe me, I can tell you now, my lawyer stood up in court and he told the judge, and this is on record, it was my case that caused the snap election for June the 8th. So, I've had to remove stuff. I've removed as much stuff as I can, because the very people that we've exposed are the very people that are now helping us. I've got it off my chest, so stand by for the 8th of May, but more importantly, stand by for the 8th of June. Now the 8th of May is VE Day, by a strange coincidence. And by a strange coincidence, I was down videoing Katie Bourne on the 11th of September. So there's a lot of coincidences happening. Anyway, I need to give my voice a rest, and I'd like to thank all my friends on Facebook. I'll speak to you soon.